So there's no doubt that this season, offensive talent was really all over the place in the NFL draft. You can see here to our what side is this? Our right were three of the top wide receivers that were taken off the board, and what could go down as one of the more legendary draft classes at the wide receiver position of all time. You know, I think of the Odell class. I think more recently of like Justin Jefferson and his class. But I don't know. These dudes really have the potential to stand out above the rest. So what we're asking in this little short video is who of these three are you most excited about? So Kyle, go ahead.
I'm going to just say Jamar Chase gets me excited for what he can do in Cincinnati, reunited with Joe Burrow.
Yeah, let me hop in real quick. I think that's something unique about this too, is that all three of these guys are reunited with at least a college quarterback that they played with, which is just mind-boggling. So go ahead, continue.
It's almost like these teams drafted them for that reason. But either way, I think they all landed in very wide receiver needy situations, except Miami, maybe ish. But either way, I'm excited for Jamar. He goes to a team that no longer has AJ Green, who saw over 100 targets last season for some reason. And maybe that was just the start of the season plan for Burrow, just to pepper the big guy with targets. And you kind of saw as the season where he targeted everybody else. But, I mean, that's still 100 targets that are no longer there. And not to say Chase will get all 100 targets, but that's still quite a bit of targets to kind of ease right into it. And I think he can do a ton with them. And I'm excited to see what's possible there this year and going forward too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Jamar Chase is a fantastic pick. It's really kind of hard to go wrong with him. Something we were talking about before we got started on the video was when Jamar Chase was in college at LSU, he was actually better than Justin Jefferson, and we all know what Justin Jefferson did last year. Jamar Chase had about 200 more yards receiving and 2 more touchdowns and than Justin Jefferson did. So he and Burrow definitely had a connection together. I think that is really going to kind of hinge on how well they can pass block in that offense. Because if they can give Burrow time, he's going to get his dudes the ball. I just want to go ahead, Kyle. What'd you say?
I said if only they could. I hope they can.
Yeah, they're on the right track. They've made some strides to get better, but I'm still not 110% sold that they're going to be able to block. And the other person that is gone from that offense that's worth noting is Giovanni Bernard too, and he vacates 59 targets, which is nothing. That's not a small number. So you take those AJ Green targets, you take those Giovanni Bernard targets. It feels like we're talking about like our great ancestors when we're talking about those two guys. But you put them together, and that's about 160 targets available for Jamar Chase. So I would love to see him get that amount. Now it's naive to think he'll get all of them, but if he gets,
that'd be nice.
It would be. If he comes close to 100, though, that's going to be special. The guy I want to talk about is actually going to be. We're neglecting one guy here, but I'm going to talk about Jaylen Waddle. And I think that he just has the absolute physical tools to be a monster in Miami. And again, like we talked about, he is reunited with his quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. So that's going to be just right off the bat an immediate connection. I also think he's in the unique situation of going to the best pre-existing offense out of these three guys. They put something together in Miami last year. Myles Gaskin. They brought in Will Fuller. They have 2 or 3 competent tight ends, but they have a great tight end in Mike Gesicki. And on the other side, they have I don't want to say a bona fide number 1, but they have a solid wide receiver in DeVonta Parker. So I think that's going to create far more opportunities for Jaylen Waddle to get matched up against the third corner or maybe a rotated out linebacker or something like that. And I think that's going to open up the offense for him specifically. I don't think he's going to demand as many targets as Chase or Smith is going to, but I think that he is going to have more meaningful targets than the other two of them because, you send Will Fuller deep, you have DeVonta Parker running across the middle. Maybe that leaves Waddle open underneath to turn up a 5-yard catch and take it to the house. So I'm really excited about Jaylen Waddle. I think he's really going to blossom in that Miami offense this year.
I think the only reason we haven't spoken about DeVonta Smith, or that neither of us are as excited about him, is because he's not wearing orange gloves in these pictures.
Or the shiny things.
I guess so. I can't blame us. That orange looks nice. But that's not to say I'm not excited about DeVonta Smith. I'm excited to see what Jalen Hurts can potentially bring, considering the thousands of trade rumors for every other quarterback that Philly has been involved with for some reason. But I think Hurts gets the job done, and DeVonta Smith is going to ball out with that too.
I think the other reason I'm a little bit worried about him is because he is kind of on his own there. Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz are always going to be a threat in that tight end game. Maybe Zach Ertz if he's still there. But like outside of DeVonta Smith, who else is there? There are no wide receivers there. So he's got some weight on his shoulders to carry the load there. But Kyle, I'm going to put you on the spot real quick. Rank them 1, 2, 3. End of season finish.
Oh, Jamar, DeVonta, Waddle.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go Jamar, Waddle, DeVonta Smith. I think that's going to be the order they end up in. And I'm just putting DeVonta at the bottom. No hate. I know he's the Heisman, but
no hate. It's zero.
It is just that's a steep hill to climb in year one to become a number one for a team. So